Hey, fellas, a lot of talk about this. Was it a hold by Eric Fisher?
Yes.
No question
Yes, it was, and it has to be called. I mean, you know, James Harrison put the left tackle in a very, very difficult position, and that's what he gets paid to do. And the officials get paid to see the play, and you got to throw the flag when you see the hold. I think definitely yes.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, but you're salty when you lose, especially the way they lost at the end of the game. So I expect that from players and coaches.
So let's take a look at the game. Pittsburgh now at New England. I guess we could call them old friends who are going to go at it in the AFC Championship
They
game.
love each other. You know, it's interesting. I think there's so many aspects of the game that you're excited to see, but I think that one that we never talk enough about is the New England defense. First off, Brandon, you've played them twice.
Yeah.
They got a pretty good secondary over there. Never gets talked about it. Malcolm Butler, Logan Ryan, Patrick Chung, Devin McCourty, maybe one of the best safeties, top 2 or 3 in the NFL.
Absolutely.
But the big matchup that I want to see, and it's not sexy at all, that's for sure, is Pittsburgh's offensive line. The 2 guards and the center against the 3 big guys for the New England Patriots up front, Branch, Brown, and Valentine. All that dancing we see Le'Veon Bell do at the line of scrimmage, will he be able to do that against this big front? It'll be interesting to see.
You know, for me, when I talk about that, Le'Veon Bell is, listen, I think he's the best running back in football, and he can do so many things out of the backfield as a wide receiver, and he creates matchup nightmares. But I think the biggest nightmare right now for Pittsburgh is what Antonio Brown did after the game, streaming Facebook Live and putting his coach out there on blast, if you will. I mean, and then you listen to what the coach said this week in regards to that. You know, Mike Tomlin's embarrassed. And he should be embarrassed. And his coach and his player put him out there. And now the distraction and what this does to this football team and what it does to Antonio Brown, maybe since he's, a young kid or a young man, it doesn't really matter to him because he'll go out and play well on Sunday. But I just think it is a major distraction.
Now that Boomer has mentioned that, let me go ahead and set up the sound where Coach Mike Tomlin addressed what Antonio Brown did in the locker room after the game.
It was foolish of him to do that. It was selfish for him to do that. And it was inconsiderate for him to do that. He's got to grow from this. He has to. He works extremely hard. He's extremely talented. And those things get minimized with incidences such as this.
So, Brandon, make no mistake about it. I mean, you're in the locker room. You're dealing with a lot of the younger players as well, too. Put that in perspective and what it does or does not do to the team as they prepare to take on New England.
To the contrary, you would never see this in New England, right?
Right.
And a lot of people always talk about this every single year with this team is it's bulletin board material. Well, it's not bulletin board material, but what it does is it keeps the New England Patriots on task. It keeps them marching in a single file line. This is the New England way, and this is how we do things. So they'll put it up, but it shows everyone sitting in those seats. This is a no-no. You cannot do this. That's why you see these guys consistently winning week after week, year after year.
To be exposed like that in the locker room, you even spoke about it, and maybe you might not want to address it now in terms of what they were doing as a team positively in the locker room, and then you hear what was going on. That's inside stuff that should be kept there with you guys.
Absolutely. I mean, you only have 3 or 4 minutes after a game to be with your teammates, right, and really enjoy the moment or Band-Aid each other up, right? So that's precious time, and that time shouldn't be live streamed for anyone to see at all.
You know, it is. It's interesting. Now there's nothing sacred. You know,
yes, there is.
I mean, the fact that that happened, you know, you hope that moment is sacred where you can share victory with your coach and teammates, and now
that's a violation. He crossed the line. There's no question about it. And I'll watch Mike Tomlin in that little segment. I mean, that is a hurt guy. He is hurt. He's hurt by what this is because he has a persona
Public
out there.
persona,
And
absolutely.
I think people admire him as a coach.
No question.
Regardless of what Terry Bradshaw came in, he actually came back and apologized for his comments. But now this. I mean, this is just, it's awful. I mean, it really is awful. So I don't know how it will affect the Pittsburgh Steelers, but I think Brandon makes a very good point. Yeah. It puts the New England Patriots square right there, locked in and focused on their opponents.
Who do you like?
New England, man. I'm sorry, Jets. New England.
Listen, I said New England was going to make it to the Super Bowl since week 1, so I'm going to stay on that bandwagon. They didn't play a great game offensively last week. They will not have a second bad game in a row offensively.
Well, of course, I'm not picking. I'm doing the game, but I will watch your pregame intently because Boomer has been known to come out here and say one thing and say something different on pregame.
But I'll be here. But one thing's
right
consistent. I'm always picking the Patriots. That's what I'll tell you.
And another thing everyone needs to pay attention to is the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. They went from the 12th defense in the regular season to the #1 defense in the postseason.